Hello, welcome to this online presentation. My name is Steven van den Bergen, working at Econocom. I am responsible for the pre-sales team for infrastructure solutions. And one of our solutions that we are proposing is the business intelligence solution from IBM. This means we will focus on how to unleash business value through data. What means how real-time access to data can transform the way you do business in the next future. So I will now give the word to David, my colleague from IBM, who will explain in detail what is the value and the added value and the real solution of this presentation of this solution.
Stephen, thank you very much for that wonderful introduction. I want to thank everybody for their time today. I want to share with you how we can unleash business value inside your business. My name is David Chancellor-Madison and I am the European Analytics Leader for IBM Systems, and I have now seen more than 100 customers change the way that they run their businesses and how they're unleashing business value. There really are 4 topics we need to look at as we unleash business value. The first is there is so much data and there isn't enough insight. That's the first topic we're going to cover briefly. The second thing that I'm going to say to you is maybe going to shock you a little bit. I want you to fail, and I want you to fail often, but I want you to fail quickly, because the quicker you fail, the faster you will succeed. A difficult concept, but I hope that we'll get there in the end. I then want us to have a look at how technology today is purpose-built to deliver value to your businesses. And then finally, I want us to have a look at some customer examples from these 100+ customers that we've been dealing with and really share with you their stories. As we move to the second slide, there is so much data inside our businesses today that I have found that most customers are only looking at a small portion of their data because there's too much data. And the reason that they quite often do that is because when you're sifting through lots of data, it takes you a very long time to find an answer. And so when you try to extract insight from a lot of data, it sometimes takes so long to find that insight that by the time you have the insight, it's virtually impossible to change the way that your business moves forward because the insight is now meaningless. And so what I want us to be able to do, and what I've seen us do, is take all the data in your organization and get it to the stage where it's really quick like an app on your phone that enables you to get the insight what you want, when you want it, and in the comfort of your own home. So I really want to leave you with something that says, I'm going to be able to deliver insight to you at the point in time so that you can take a very specific action inside your business. I think this is a good example, and actually a CFO took me through this example. He said to me, Dave, the biggest problem that we have is we have a financial analysis challenge. So I said, Ed, please explain to me what your financial challenge is. He said to me, you know, we run a report, and sometimes that report doesn't have every single element that we're looking for. And so we adapt the report and I run the report again. And then you know what, there's another thing that I want to see inside the report, so I run the report again. And sometimes I run the report 3, 4, 5, 6 times. That report, if it was taking me 7 hours, means that to find an insight would sometimes take me 2 or 3 days. That's the kind of financial analysis challenge that I am facing. My team is spending time running reports, not analyzing the data because it's taking too long. So I said to him, well, this sounds like quite a crazy challenge. And he says, yes, Dave, you don't understand. Sometimes if I had known something sooner, I would have made a different business decision for my business. And I think that was the thing that really got us talking about how we fix his financial analysis challenge. And you know what? The great thing is we're able to fix it now for him, and we have fixed it. And he's one of the proof points I'll be sharing with you later. It comes down to this. If my first report is not perfect, I'm happy that it fails. As long as it doesn't fail after 2 or 3 hours, I want it to fail immediately so that I can refine the report and refine the report until I find the thing that leads to success. And that's what I meant by I want you to fail. I want you to fail often, but I want you to fail fast so that you can succeed in the end. As we look at that, it then actually all becomes about real-time insight. And effectively, what we've been able to do is we've been able to give you information in real time. And that means that you see the guy on the left-hand side of your screen, he's holding a tablet. The world has gone mobile. I want to be able to do my reporting, my stock control, and my cash flow. I want to be able to do it in real time in the convenience of my house or wherever. And for me, this means you've got to have the right application inside your business. And now I'll share with you the piece of technology that we've been working on works with every single reporting application there is out in the marketplace, except for one. It doesn't work with Hyperion, but it works with everything else. And what we've been able to do is we've taken that investment that you've made in your application that you are using to run your day-to-day business, and we have just super optimized it to enable you to have insight in real time. And you know what, I'm going to share a little bit, because there's a part of me that is a little bit technical, and I promise not to bore you in the following slide, but I'm going to share with you how we've done this. So I said to you one of the topics we would talk about is how technology has been purpose-built to deliver value to you. So we've taken a piece of technology, and inside the hardware itself, we've put 8 highways for data. Everybody else in the marketplace only has 2 highways. We've then taken a large volume of your data, and you know what, we are compressing it between 7 and 10 times. This means you get about 90% of your data is completely compressible. So you end up with only 10% of your data that we're going to analyze. It's still all your data, but it's just hugely compressed. And then finally, we take that data and we put it into in-memory to make it even super faster. So now you've got 8 highways to carry the data. The data is compressed, so you can get more data onto those highways, and we've put it into in-memory to accelerate it. And this leads to one interesting thing. It means that we have so optimized your data that when you put that application that you bought on top of it, be it everything but Hyperion, you can now use that application to get insight from that data immediately. And that is really what we've done to change the way customers are getting business value in the marketplace. You know what, don't believe me. Let's go and just have a look at some of the amazing proof points that I've experienced over the last 20 plus months. I'm going to start with an example that's based in the Benelux. It's a pharmaceutical supplier. It's now the largest pharmaceutical supplier across the Benelux. And I'm going to tell you about how they transformed their business, and specifically how the business changed the way it negotiates with its suppliers. They've got 5,000 products on their shelves. It was taking them on average 44 minutes to run a report. So you can just do the math in your head. 5,000 products, 44 minutes. It's going to take you months to analyze all the information. The problem is they have supplier conferences and supplier telephone calls and supplier negotiations every week, every day, every month. So quite often, the product that was a problem, they would only discover it 3 months after it was a real problem. And when I spoke to the senior buyer inside this company, he said the following to me. He said, you know what, Dave, sometimes I've got inventory taking up space in my stores that doesn't move and is costing me cash to pay those suppliers. So now what you've been able to do for me, because I can run it now in a second and sometimes less than a second, I can run that report. He says now when the supplier phones me for a new order, like buy 300 new bandages, I can turn around to him and say, hold on, the last set of bandages you sold me, they haven't moved off the shelf. They're taking a bunch of my money. Hey, why should I keep your bandages on my shelf? Maybe I should free up that shelf space for somebody else. And it fundamentally changes the way that he can negotiate with his suppliers. We in IT sometimes think we've made the report faster for you. That's not true. We've actually helped you run the business in a slightly different manner. I want to share with you the second example, and the second example is a nuclear risk assessment company in France. It is a market where a lot of people are competing in the same space with exactly the same set of standards. And this specific company came to IBM and said, everybody is able to run their reports in 10 or 12 hours. We need to run our reports faster because we are worried about some of the services that we give back to our clients. So we took those 29 reports and we were now able to run the report in 10 seconds. We thought we'd done a good job because IT had enabled this customer to run their report in 10 seconds. That was not the real outcome. What it enabled the team to do was go back into the marketplace and bid for business with a unique value proposition. We're all exactly the same, we all are on the same standards, but what we can do for you is we can give you the report in 10 seconds. So when we look at what's happening inside your nuclear power plant, when we look at how many kilowatts you're producing, when we look at whether there's a critical situation inside your nuclear power plant, we can tell you that answer faster than anybody else in the marketplace. This team at this nuclear risk assessment company used to win one contract a year. Contract is worth about $3 billion. In the last 11 months, they've won 3 contracts. It has fundamentally changed their business. The last example I want to share with you is about a facilities management company in the United Kingdom. These are people who do between 300,000 and 400,000 low margin projects per year. A project can be anything from changing a light bulb to putting some new chairs in a meeting room to running telephony. The problem is, what they were trying to find out is, when do we start to lose money on a low value project? That was the question they had inside the business. Because it was taking them so long to analyze these individual projects, they were unable to kind of get a pattern for why they were losing money on some of their projects and some of their other projects, because it was taking 7 hours for them to get that insight. We fundamentally changed that for them. We gave them the ability to get that insight or run that first report within 2 seconds of putting the data into the machine. That enabled them to do a really interesting thing. It enabled them to have a look at where they were losing the most money and then go and figure out what process they would have to improve that. The story that he shared with me, or that Ed shared with me, was he said, you know what, we found on average it took a person 4 hours to change a light bulb. Now I'm going to say to you, 4 hours to change a light bulb sounds unreasonable. And so it was the very first thing they did to improve the process of how they change light bulbs, etc., etc. And our technology enabled this company to see £450,000 of additional profit in the first year. You know what? Those are the stories I wanted to share with you. I hope you found this really interesting. And Stephen, I want to thank you and everybody for the time, and I'd just like to hand this back to you. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, everybody.
So, thank you, David, for your interesting speech. I will now take the word to explain what is the added value and value proposition of Econocom within this proposal. So it is a solution that is composed of 4 parts in our meaning. The first one is the solution, the software solution itself. And I think that David was very clear when he explained it, the different parts and the added value of this software to your business. Of course, a solution like this is running on a hardware platform. The second part is so the hardware that we are proposing. This can be hardware that is on your own premise. It could also be in a data center. It could also be in the cloud, in our cloud at Econocom, for example. So the hardware itself is IBM hardware, the Power, Linux, which is a very good platform for this business intelligence tooling. Of course, this needs to be customized. This is the third part of the solution. The services to adapt the hardware and the software to your environment and to your needs and requirements. to integrate it with your data sources so that you can extract the information coming from your mass data in your ERP environment. At last of the row, we also have the possibility to let you purchase this solution in two ways. Either you can purchase it in a CAPEX model, or you could also buy the solution in a leasing envelope so that you are paying the solution per month over 3 or 4 years, for example. So those four components makes the whole solution. We have some more information that you can download via our landing page. This is a white paper that is explaining the solution in a message to the CFO, so to the financial guys, how you can extract interesting information from your big data platform. You can also contact me or David if you want some more information, so do not hesitate to contact us via email or Twitter so that we can come back to you as soon as possible. So once again, thank you for your time and have a nice day.